Hello, UCLA Radio. This is Dr. No, and this is my interview with Mark Sanchez.
Reg, what's up, dude?
Oh, not much. Just calling for the interview.
Sweet, buddy. How's school going? You get ready for finals, or are you already done?
I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready during this week. Actually, I just finished working on an essay, 14 pages, and I've just finished 7. So yeah.
Nice.
But yeah. How have you been?
I'm good, buddy. We're just practicing and getting ready for the season, learning new offense. Got a bunch of cool teammates, great coaches, so it's going really well.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so you're busy too then. I guess everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, and first off, I want to thank you again. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show. I mean, it's a real honor, And
dude, no problem. I'm glad I can help. Sorry I couldn't do it sooner.
Oh no, it's okay. I mean, I know you're busy. I think I'm busy, but I mean, you have a lot of stuff to juggle.
It's all good, brother.
Yeah. Well, first I want to start off with your college career. So because you went to USC, so like just being on here, it's kind of like being in the belly of the beast, so to speak. Were you nervous at all about the possible reactions by some of the more zealous Trojans and Bruins?
You know what? To be honest, I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal, only because they figure out that we're family, and I figured you'd take care of me.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're not going to throw me under the bus.
Oh no! I wouldn't dream of it, And honestly, like I don't understand why anybody would be so emotional about it. I mean, I haven't encountered anybody who really vehemently hates Trojans, but there's stories, about the alleged rivalry between us,
Right.
Yeah, and you have been active in sports from an early age. What was your favorite sport growing up? Did you dream of becoming a professional football player?
Well, to be honest, I really enjoyed playing basketball when I was younger, but I think I never played baseball as well. But I think football was always my favorite. The only reason I knew is just I felt like basketball and baseball were a break from football season, and a lot of my friends played other sports and stuff, so I wanted to play just to be around them and have a good time with those guys. But I was always real competitive, so those different sports just kept me going. And then, I dreamed of playing professional sports my entire life, whether it was football or something else. I told my mom at a young age I really wanted to do that. So, it's always been a dream of mine, and I'm just happy I could realize it.
Yeah. I mean, it's very fortunate that you were able to realize, like, such a huge dream, it's really amazing. And, were there any figures that you knew personally or simply looked up to that influenced you or otherwise encouraged you to pursue football?
I was a ball boy for Carson Palmer when he was in high school, and one of the great USC quarterbacks. So I always admired him and followed his career. I stayed close with him and his family just because I was such a big fan of his and always supported him and wanted him to do well. And so I think that had a lot to do with me going to SC. That had a lot to do with me wanting to play football and compete like that and play on that similar stage as Carson. So that was really fun.
I see. Were there any athletes that you admired growing up, like particular athletes?
Besides Carson, my older brothers, I always watched them and wanted to compete with them. But other than that, I guess quarterbacks that I really admired were, Marino, Aikman, Elway, those guys. I had pictures of them in my room and stuff like that. But mostly Carson, just because he was so close to home. And he was at San Margarita High School and then at USC, so I got to see him every weekend.
I see. Yeah, and one hobby you enjoy during the rare times you aren't busy is fishing. Has that always been a hobby of yours? What else do you like to do in your spare time?
I do love fishing. I have gone on this fishing trip almost every year since I was 7. My dad takes us up to the Sierra Nevadas, and we go to Mammoth and go fishing at Lake Crowley, trout fishing. And so that's just been a family tradition that we've gone on, me and my 2 brothers and my dad.
Oh, okay.
This last year was the first year we got to take Nico, or the second year Nico's gone, but my first year taking Nico. So that was fun to pass that tradition along and see my oldest brother Nick with his first son is pretty cool. A generational thing with his grandpa there, my dad, and so it was a blast. But other than fishing, I mean, anything around the water. I love hanging by the beach, playing beach volleyball, playing the guitar a little bit. But as long as family's involved, it's always a good time.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, well, what's the biggest fish you've caught?
I think Nico beat us all this year.
Oh, really?
He caught a 3-pound, 9-ounce fish, and it was in Western Outdoor News, the fishing, tackle, and hunting newspaper. So he's got his picture in the paper with the big old fish.
Oh, my goodness.
So he's fired up. But, yeah, I think he beat us all.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and as mentioned before, you attended USC and played on the football team there, and you played behind John David Booty, the quarterback, for like a year and a half, and then you started in your senior year. What about USC stood out to you and convinced you to attend there?
Well, I thought, number one, the education in any of those SoCal schools, I think, whether it's USD, USC, San Diego State, UCLA, all the UC system schools, everyone in California was such a great opportunity. And when I looked at it closer, I really thought it'd be a good fit for me football-wise. I thought it'd be close to home. That was nice, so my family could come see me play. And, it just looked like the best option. I really enjoyed what Coach Carroll had going on there. I thought the culture he had built around that football program was important. And it was, on the fast track to success. So I was happy I made this decision, and I think it was one of the best I made.
I see. And being a college student, I have enough trouble juggling my schoolwork as it is. How did you manage juggling schoolwork as well as a competitive sports career that resulted in entry into the NFL?
You just got to get good at, managing your time, using in-between times and all those study hours and stuff that you have to use at the student academic athletic facility. Those things, you just got to utilize your time and make sure you get plenty of time to study for the game each week, and then make sure, in the off season and stuff, I was doing extra work trying to get ahead. I was in summer school every chance I could be just to catch up on classes and actually get ahead on classes so I could graduate on time. And that's one of the promises I made leaving early. I had another year to play football, but my dad said, if I graduated, then he wouldn't mind if I left early to the NFL. So that's what I ended up doing.
I see. Yeah. And what's it called? Speaking of that, did you have any reservations about going professional during your time at USC? Did you consider pursuing a non-football related career at any point?
I don't know. I always was set on playing ball. Unless something happened, I would have had a good degree to fall back on, and that's part of the reason why I chose USC. But, I'd always kind of had my heart set on playing football as long as I could. So I'm still trying to do that, and nothing's really changed there. I'm still trying to play as long as I can.
I see. Yeah, well, 2009 was a very big year for you as it marked your admittance into the NFL and you're being drafted by the New York Jets. What was that like for you? Were you expecting anything of this magnitude at the time?
It was an absolute joy to go through a great experience for me and my family. I think playing on Sundays was just the ultimate dream, and being able to do it in a big city like New York with that kind of coverage so my family could see all the games and the kind of runs we had those first couple of years into the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, a game away from the Super Bowl. That was all fun to be a part of, and I learned quite a bit about the NFL, about living on your own for the first time, really without school. It's different in college from high school, but it's totally different from the NFL to college. So it was an incredible experience, and you got to go up fast and learn fast, and I learned a lot of great lessons and met a lot of great people through the process.
Well, that's great. And aside from the stakes being way higher, what differences between playing college football and playing professional football stood out to you?
I think the speed of the game is probably one of the biggest. In college, guys are open for a lot longer of a period of time. Here, you got to throw them open. You got to anticipate. There's an incredible amount of studying that goes into it in preparation. And instead of college having class, you have football class, all day. And then you go practice, and then you examine what you did in practice and study it and review it, and then you get ready for a game each week. So it's a lot. and you see what kind of sport it is. It's the ultimate team sport. You need every guy on the team to pull their weight, and you need everybody on the team to be accountable to each other. So it's even more of a team sport that way than it is in college. So it's very fun. It's also very different. There's a business side to it, and that made it a little different. You're used to the pageantry, and everybody's playing for the love of the game in college. Well, now there's a financial aspect to this league, and that's just the way it works. But you find that the guys who don't really worry about that too much, who just play and have fun playing, they generally do the best.
That's interesting, because you just brought up like something that I just found interesting, that like a lot, like with sports, like there's different layers to it, because like it's not just the you're playing a game aspect to it, but it's also like there's I guess an ethic to it. Like you have teamwork and stuff, and then you have business. There's a business layer to it too. Just hit me. I thought that was really interesting.
It's incredible, and it's so different, the conversations in the locker room outside of football. They talk to guys that are married, they have kids, they've got to take their kids to school, they have house payments and car payments and real life issues, going through divorces or whatever. There's a million things going on, and it's totally different than the conversation you have in college, talking about a midterm, an exam, a party coming up, or are you going to rush a fraternity? I mean, those kind of conversations seem so trivial when you get to this level, because there's so many real life issues. So it was eye opening and fun at the same time.
I see. Yeah. Well, what's it called? Keep it in line with your professional commitments. You moved to New York, where you became a big fan of theater. And what's it called? Well, how exactly did you become interested in like Broadway musicals? Like what?
My mom took me to Lion King when I was real young, when I was like 10, for one of my birthdays, I think. We went to Disneyland, and then we went to Pantages Theater, and she took me to Lion King. And then my dad took me to a show, Oliver Twist, I think. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, I always had a love for theater. I always respected it. And then once I got to see it on Broadway, seeing Wicked, seeing In the Heights, seeing Fences, and what else? Book of Mormon. A ton of shows. It's incredible. Rock of Ages. It's incredible to see how much work they put into it. It's very similar to a football schedule, maybe even tougher. They're doing 8 shows a week, and it's just exhilarating to watch. There's so much pressure on them to hit the notes, to make the right moves, to be exact with their choreography. It really is fun to watch, and I just had such a deep love and respect for those performers that it always made it fun. I try to bring some of the guys on the team as well.
I see. Yeah, so not only did you fulfill your dream of becoming a professional football player, you also got to see many musicals that you grew up enjoying, and got to see them like performed by professionals in Broadway, no less. I mean, you're very fortunate. You're very lucky. That's pretty awesome. And
absolutely, incredibly blessed, and I had a great time doing what I'm doing, and I hope it keeps going.
Yeah. And on top of that, you actually got to present a song from the musical Memphis at the Tonys.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what year it was, but you got to present that. How did that come about? Like, did they contact you or?
Yeah, they just sent an invite because they saw me tweet and send out pictures of going to the show. I went a couple different times to Memphis, and I loved it. I thought the music was great. It was innovative. It was fun. It was a little racy. It was great, and so I saw it multiple times. I took different guys on the team. I think I took Dustin Keller at one point, but after they saw what a fan I was, they asked if I would present for them at the Tony. So that was a big award show and red carpet and the whole deal. So it was fun to represent my team and to help support that musical. It was very fun.
I see. Well, what musicals would you say are your favorites? Are there any non-musical plays that you are a fan of?
I saw Fences with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, which was really good. What else? I think that was probably one of my favorite ones. I think But James Gandolfini was in it before he passed away. Obviously, he was the father of a kid. These two kids get into a fight at school, and one kid hits the other kid with a stick. And the whole play is about how the parents handle this dilemma. So you don't even see the kids, you don't see the fight, you don't see anything. It's one set, and it's like an hour and a half. But the banter, the dialogue, everything going back and forth. There's no music, it's very dry. But everything going back and forth between the parents and their different ideologies on how to parent and parenting skills and stuff like that is just hilarious. And they go back and forth, making fun of each other, yelling at each other, crying with each other. And it goes through all these emotions. But it was one of my favorite plays, and I thought James Gandolfini was absolutely incredible.
That's interesting. And by remarkable coincidence, I actually read Fences in my AP literature class back in my senior year in high school. So yeah, I'm familiar with it. Yeah. Yeah, it
was really good.
Yeah.
Watching it was awesome.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen it. Yeah, well, one aspect of your background that has drawn significant attention is your Mexican ancestry. Did you ever feel pressure to be vocal or silent about your ethnic background? And how did you respond to these pressures?
I wore a mouthpiece with a Mexican flag on it in college. And as, not to draw any attention, but more to, say thank you to all the fans there at the Coliseum that were there every week. A lot of the Mexican fans, Hispanic fans, Latino fans. And it just drew such an uprising, and people were so upset. A lot of people were upset, but a lot of people were excited that I would do that. It was really meant as a thank you. It wasn't some radical political view or, anything like that. I wasn't starting any movement or anything. It was more just to show my appreciation. So I think that caused a little bit of a stir, but other than that, the most important thing to me really over the last couple of years is learning Spanish, and so I've gotten much better. I'm definitely fluent now after multiple trips to Mexico, after going to Spain and different things, after listening to CDs in my car. I'd say I'm fluent. I love speaking the language, and it's been a great opportunity to embrace my culture and my heritage, and I'm thankful and we're blessed to live in a country where you can really celebrate that, and you look back on your ancestry and you're allowed to have that freedom to express that here in this country, and that's amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Yeah, and I wanted to add in addition to appearing on the Tonys, you had the privilege of appearing, however briefly, on Saturday Night Live in a monologue performed by Tina Fey. What was that like? Can you expect to see you on more comedy shows in the future?
I don't know about any other late night stuff, but Saturday Night Live was fun. I was a huge fan of the show, and after going to, I went to a movie premiere or something like that, and meeting some of the members of the cast, Karen Lorne Michaels, the creator of Saturday Night Live. That's when I got the invite, and then when I told them I was going to go, they said, "Do you mind being on the show?" And so I was in there as a stand-in, and Tina Fey is hilarious. I think the artist at the time was Justin Bieber. He was the guest musician, which is funny. That was early in Bieber's career, so it was cool to meet him. And it's been it was a great experience, and Tina Fey's hilarious. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I can't hammer it enough. You're lucky because I'm a huge fan of Tina Fey, particularly after watching 30 Rock, so I'm like can't help feeling a little jealous.
She's funny.
Yeah, she is. Well, in addition to being a quarterback, you are involved with various charitable causes and groups, such as the Inner City Games in Los Angeles, the Holland Beck Youth Center, Food for Kids in the South Bay, and you also supported Hurricane Sandy cleanup efforts. Can you tell us about some of these organizations as well, and what it's like been working with them?
Well, I think a lot of them have to do with children, and that's always been important to me. I think I've done some stuff at the Children's Hospital of Orange County, did a hospital visit there, and then the Hollenbeck Youth Center. That just keeps kids off the streets. It gives them a place to go, a safe haven for them to work on their schoolwork, to play in the gym, to box, to work in a computer lab, to get access to resources that they wouldn't have on a regular basis. And I started that back in college. I went to their toy drive and just passed out toys as a football player from USC. And now, being blessed financially, it's been important for me to want to give back to them financially for all that they do, and anything you can do to help those kids there, especially where you're from, where your parents are from, in LA, that's important. And so it's always a joy to work with those groups. And then the Hurricane Sandy stuff was from me being in New Jersey and seeing the effects of that firsthand, wanting to help those people there. A lot of them Jet fans. That was important to me too, because a lot of those people supported me during good and bad times as a player, and during their worst times in Hurricane Sandy, you want to help them out and tell them you appreciate their support and do everything you can. So I think that's just a part of the position I'm in, and I feel like it's the right thing to do, and my family's on board with that, so that's nice.
I see. Yeah, well, it's very kind of you to do that. Yeah, and unfortunately, well, we're running towards the end of our interview, but so I want to close with this question. It's kind of open-ended, but what do you feel has been the highlight of your career?
Man, that is tough. I mean, we've talked through so many things in just a short period here, but from Broadway to playing in NFL playoff games, to helping with charity efforts, to being on Saturday Night Live, there have been some incredible moments, I think. Some of the best are seeing my family after the games, seeing my mom and dad just like they used to when I was younger, my brothers, just talking to them after practice, letting them know how I'm doing, Skyping with Nico and you guys on Thanksgiving, things like that make it fun. And, I'm always going to enjoy playing, and hopefully I can play as long as I can. But at some point it's going to end, and those are the memories that stick out more than just playing ball. There's a lot of things that have come from it, and it's been an incredible journey. So it's hard to pick out just one thing, but it's just seeing the reaction on my family's face when I get to come home for Christmas and things like that. It really is a joy.
I see. Well, yeah, it's you've had quite a storied career, and you're very you got a lot to be proud of, at least in my opinion. So yeah. Yeah, well,
I appreciate it, bud.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, yeah, I just want to thank you again for being on here. I mean, it's really, it's really an honor to have you, especially for my last show. So, yes, it was very nice.
Anytime, man. I'm glad I could help. Good luck on your finals.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for having me, all right?
All right, thank you so much, Cousin Mark. All right, well, this was Mark Sanchez. He is the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he is involved with numerous charity organizations such as the Inner City Games in Los Angeles, the Hollenbeck Youth Center, and Food for Kids in the South Bay. Thank you so much, Cousin Mark, and have a fantastic day.
All right, bud.